Okay, let's see, what do we have here? 5 Philippine pesos, nope, too big. That would be from a country I don't really recognize. Oh, Hong Kong dollars. Ooh, interesting shape. $2, Australia. Looks expensive. €1, looks a bit too big. 50 cents, no, 20, 10 cents. Might do the trick. This is gonna be interesting. Good morning everyone, welcome back to one more episode of the Mini Diaries. This is my second day in a row trying to figure out how to do this 2-penny trick without any pennies in my pocket, so I'm experimenting with cents. Okay, now that I've I'm pretty confident I've resolved the issue of the air leakage that definitely had something to do with my idling problems. One thing I want to try and do is remove the wax stat on the jet. Now apparently this little devil here, which what this basically does, it was designed to lean out the mixture as the temperature in the engine bay gets higher and higher. The problem is it doesn't really stop leaning out the mixture when it's supposed to, and you end up with an over lean fuel mixture for your engine. There's a trick out there which is called the 2-pence trick, which is, as I found on a forum on Classic Minis, an idea of a gentleman by the name of Lawrence Cochrane, I think, Cochrane, and he actually removed the wax stat and replaced the wax stat with 2 1-pence coins, and hence the name of the patent is the 2-penny trick, which is supposed to be solving the issue, and this is exactly what I'm going to try and carry out today. So in theory, all I have to do is remove the nut, uncrimp the wax stat, measure the position of it, remove the wax stat, and replace it with 2-pence coins, which I don't have, of course, so I'm going to have to work around other currencies out there that I may have and might fit the purpose. So let's see how that will go. Cool, you can actually bring it here, uncrimp one, and keep on rotating. There you go, this is almost out. Almost out. And it seems to be spring-loaded. Yep. It is spring-loaded. I sure hope I don't mess things up. Come on, there you go. Out. Okay. Well, this is spring loaded for the action of the wax stat, and it stays there. And this is the little bugger. Let's see, 5 cents. 5 cents won't do it. Yep, that goes in there. That does go in there. So 10 cents. 10 euro cents that is. And the thickness is... it's only 2. Now there is quite some force on the spring, to be very honest with you, so chances are is we will have 30-cent coins flying all over the basement pretty soon. And the uncrimped one is this one. Definitely. It won't go. See? Okay, I'm giving up for now. Go have lunch. We'll be back. So this is nice and sturdy, and it's crimped in place, and it isn't going anywhere. And I got my 3 10-cent coins there, and the actual height that I'm left with. Let's try this from this angle. So I got a 31.6. So that's 31.6, and my initial was 34.4. So a few millimeters lower than the initial setting, which is okay, because I'll just readjust my carburetor. So I'll put it all back together, install it on the car, start it up, and see how well it all went. Okay, so here I am, carburetor dismantled again, and trying to figure out how to make these 2 penny or 2 1-pence coins trick work on my carburetor. I replaced the wax stat yesterday. Actually, I removed the wax stat because this little bugger is the one responsible for leaning out my mixture way too much when the engine gets too hot. And I'm pretty sure that that's the culprit for my idling issues and the engine dying on me eventually when I get stuck in traffic and it gets too hot. So I removed everything, replaced the wax stat with 3 10-cent coins in trying to make up for the thickness of it within the jet. And I ended up with a carburetor that was running way too rich. It was running so rich that I actually had to remove one of the springs from my carb, because I use a double spring setup in mine, just to bring the mixture down to a level that the car would kind of run. But still, it would run way too rich. And the problem for that was when I reassembled the jet, I made the horrific mistake of installing the spring on the jet the wrong way. So instead of putting it like that and then putting the lid on, in you go, and then put my coins in and recrimp it in place so that it can move like that, I made the mistake of installing the spring underneath the jet like this. So you do tend to get stupid when all you can think of is mama's meatballs and roast potatoes. So that was one of the issues why I could not get the height that I wanted on my jet assembly. So I ended up with a height here which was not the 34.4 millimeters that I initially wanted. I ended up with a 31.25 or something, which I thought was going to be okay, because I was silly enough to believe that since this was shorter, it was sitting lower on my carb, I could tighten the nut and bring the jet back up to its original position to control my mixture. Problem is, as you can see here, I ran out of threads, right? There was no more room for me left to further raise the jet. So the engine was running richer than it should. So now what I'm doing is I'm reinstalling the spring properly, so the spring goes like that on the jet. Reinstall that in place, and you can see there's a notch in here for the piston, let's call it. There, this is the part that moves in the Wakstat to sit against. Now I'm removing this, and I realized that the thickness of this bugger is 5 millimeters almost. Well, 4.99 something. There you go. Which will be nicely replaced by 3 2-cent coins. That will give me 5. So the very simple trick, which I made a huge ordeal out of, is to just place them 3 buggers in here instead of a Wakstat. There you go, see? They will actually fit in there. And replace the lid. Yeah. Yep. There's a bit of room. So I'm arguing with myself whether I should do... Let's see, how much are the 3 10-cents for? This is the more expensive solution. No, they're 5 point... This is 5.6. The diameter fits better though. In there, but there's not that much play. Let's see if we can sandwich something. Let's see if I can do 5 with this. That's a bit above. That's 5.4. Let's do 2. $5.15. Nope. I'll stick to the 3 2-cent coin solution. I'll just put these in there and be done with my day and get on with my life. So, if all goes well, that should give me my initial 34.4 reading. Come on, you wanna go? There you go. Okay, so I'm still just a tad short, so I'm gonna add a small washer underneath the jet. Again, I'm going through all this trouble to stop my carburetor from running too lean when it gets too hot. Just put that there. Good. Crimp it properly. One, 2, 3. I am at 33.45. I'm 0.9 of a millimeter off in the total height of the jet. So if I check it, it almost comes flush, so that should be good enough for the carb to work. Alright, this is Sunday, well, almost afternoon, it's not morning anymore. Third day in a row of me trying to work out what the problem was with my unstable idle and the leaning issues. of the fuel mixture, and it all came out so nicely. Let's make sure I don't kill myself. Look at that. The car purrs like a happy kitten. I've never had an idle as stable as this in the 14 years I've owned Bob. So I'm definitely a happy camper with this solution. It looks like the 2 pence coin, well, the 6 euro cent trick actually does work, and it works pretty well. It actually came together so well that it was definitely worth all my troubles and my frustration and my efforts, including the mistake I did with the reinstallation of the jet, because I just love the way the car drives and idles. So this basically brings us to the end of this episode of the Mini Diaries. That was my 2 pence worth on the matter of leaning issues on ICU HS4 carbs. There's one more left for me to tackle. That would be part 3, and it has to do with float balls and float leads, cause fuel consumption is gonna be a pretty important deal if I'm to clock about 16,000 kilometers on a trip across Europe or wherever else I might be going. And that is for the next episode. So until then, take care of yourselves, do like and subscribe if you like the content, and enjoy your minis, fellows. I'll see you around soon.